Hey guys, I'm Jacob from the Tripod. If you haven't seen me before, just wanted to jump on live quickly and take a couple minutes of your time because I don't know if you guys realise this, but in less than 2 weeks, footy season is going to be underway. It has felt like it's been a long off season and we've been hearing about a lot of stuff off the field this off season. So it will be great to actually get action happening back on the field. And we will be coming to you again on this page and in several other locations I'll tell you about to share our tips for season 2019. First and foremost, I can tell you, if you don't know who we are or what we've done before, we have been sharing NRL tips for the last 4 full seasons. We have won over 60% of our 50-50 tips 4 straight seasons, each and every season. So we will be having a red hot crack and putting everything we can into this season, once again making that 5 successful seasons. And we know our number one goal is really just to get as many people interested and as many people following us as possible. We know to get that's going to come with the results of winning you guys money and helping show you the way, and also just as importantly showing you all the ways that the bookies have an edge and the reason the bookies do make so much money each and every season, and traps that you can avoid falling into, and just try and give you a lot of advice, all things NRL punting. So first of all, got to let you guys know it's going to be same time as usual. There's always a little bit of confusion with the daylight savings. We kick off the podcast 6 p.m. in Queensland on Wednesday nights. So for the first month or however long until you guys get your daylight savings to flip over, that could be 7 p.m. South of the border. But for some reason, we don't like our curtains fading. So in Queensland, we kick off at 6 p.m. and that starts next week. Next week, we will be doing 2019 overall season preview. So we'll just share some thoughts, bit of a recap of who's moved where, what we're thinking, what we're kind of expecting for season 2019, and a bit of general punting advice. The following week will be the week of round 1, where we will break down every NRL game from a punting perspective. And we'll do that all basically 30 weeks of the season when you include the finals. So that's Wednesday nights. So that will be live on this page. It's also available as an audio podcast. So if you don't want to have to look at a mug like this, and I'm joined by Alex each week, and his mug's not much better than mine, you can get the audio, and that will be available Spotify, iTunes, pretty much anywhere where you would pick up an audio podcast. That'll be available soon after we go live. You can listen to that obviously anytime you choose, but it's going to be relevant to the upcoming NRL round. Or, you can catch the live video. It doesn't have to be live if it doesn't suit you. Of course, the advantage for people who do tune in live is that we do share some of our tips, especially if there's a line or a total that we just are not confident is going to be there for too much longer. We will share it out live on the pod, and boys who watch know that every single week we were giving out tips and people were commenting within a few minutes saying that those odds have moved or that line's changed. So there's definitely an advantage to watch live. And I do want to say as well, we really are going to put a lot of effort this year into trying to improve the production quality of our podcast. So I know we had issues with connection. We're going to use some new software where we're going to have graphics across the screen. We're going to try and keep it a bit tighter on timing too. I know that not everyone necessarily wants the pod to be shorter because they appreciate the insight, but for the interest of getting more people following, we will try and keep it tighter and get closer to that half-hour mark, breaking down the games. So I think we really want to make it worthwhile to tune in and watch the pod, and especially we'll be making improvements to the video side of things. But as I said before, if it suits you better to get the audio, that's available. Then just to let you know the drill, basically, once we've gone through every game, we've shared tips that we think aren't going to be on the board for too much longer, shared some of our best bets. We do a complete deep dive, and on Thursdays is where we release all of our tips for the upcoming round, and we release those tips in the TryPod app. So that's a completely free app. You get it Android or Apple App Store. And that app, it's not cheap or easy to create an app, but if you guys have followed us along the last few years, we felt that there was a demand for something like that where tipsters can all share their tips. It's fully transparent, fully tracked, and you can really see who's profitable with their tips. And another great advantage is you can choose which tipsters on that app you want to get an instant notification when they tip, so that when we do share tips game by game on a Thursday, you're getting them straight away so that you can get the very best prices and very best lines available, because people who follow us will know that the bookies will often move these bets if they are such good value and people are smashing them. And we've kind of proved over several years that we are great at finding value in the NRL. So that'll be every Thursday. You can look forward to that if you get the TryPod app. We'll also post a full summary of them on our website, trypodbetting.com. And there's even a newsletter which is free too. If you go to trypodbetting.com, you can put your email in and you can get the weekly newsletter. Not only all the best bets, but we do give out multis every week too. And we're not just throwing multis around willy-nilly. I mean, you guys know we won 120-1 multi on the NFL season. It's only a 16-week season. We won 60-1 last year on the NRL. The year before, we had the legendary 100-1 on the NRL. And we'd really try and pick off, where promos are in our favour. So if you're getting cash bonus or odds boost or insurance, we'll look at those bookies, what promo they might have for multis, and then specifically the games that we like. If they've got a decent price or a decent, number or a decent market on those games, then we'll kind of cater that multi to that bookie to really get the best value. So, I mean, in addition to winning 60%, and I'm talking about not just picking winners, but picking teams with the line or with the total, you've made even more if you've followed the multis as well. So we'll continue to do that. That's going to be your Thursdays. And then if you kind of want to interact with us and with each other and ask questions and just share information, that's where our Facebook group comes in handy. So I think I've included a link to our group. We're going to have game threads. So every single NRL game, there'll be a thread where people can comment kind of throughout the game, discuss tips on the game, and just discuss all the footy in general. And that group also includes tips for all sports and racing, not just rugby league as well. So if you are a keen punter, and it's not something that you have to follow every tip that every person puts out there, but it might just give you an idea or give you somewhere where you can kind of brainstorm and just finally a chance for us to all team up and get some back against the bookies, because they enjoy taking money off a lot of people, and the vast majority of punters are not winning. So if you can win money on the NRL as we have done for the last few years, it's worth at least hearing our point of view. And then, as well as any additional info or tips that we'll share on the app throughout the weekend, we also do a rapid reaction podcast. So that will be within 5 minutes of the Sunday final game, final whistle, roughly usually 6 p.m. on a Sunday. Again, that's Queensland time. We jump on here as well for about 15 minutes, just give you our rapid reaction thoughts from a punting perspective. And, everyone's got a different amount of time and different level of footy fans, but we watch every minute of every game, and we understand not everyone has the time to do that. So we'll give you some insights on games that you might not have seen and things that aren't surface level. We're not just going to sit there, and talk about easy things like, the Roosters won by 20. Looks like they might win the comp again. We'll try and dive a little bit deeper, give you really good, tangible nuggets of information that we're noticing that's going to allow us to make money on upcoming rounds, as well as face the music. Regardless of the results, we're back live every Sunday after the round to talk about the results that we had with our tips. So that's pretty much a summary of what we'll be doing this season, and we try and adapt and try and listen to your guys' feedback and put out the best product that we can. So look forward to as many people tuning in as you can. I'm a massive fan of podcasts, not just our own. And I think the great thing about what we do is you don't really have to make time in your week to follow us. I listen to podcasts if I'm bloody doing the dishes, if I'm in the garden, doing laundry, or of course, if you're driving anywhere, you're on a bus, you're on a train, you can listen to the podcast and just get a bit of extra information, bit of water cooler chat when you're at work. If you're a punter, this could literally make you a lot of money or save you losing as much as you might in a normal footy season. And even if you're just interested, it's just going to give you some, I hope, just a different perspective, because I don't think anybody else out there breaks the games down from a betting perspective, and certainly no one else out there with the results like what we've been able to do. And everything that we do every season is completely free as well. So cheers for everyone who has followed along the way, and cannot wait, as I said, Wednesday night, we'll be back. So Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Queensland time with a season 2019 preview. Can't wait, guys. Cheers. Lego.